Welcome to GOS Media. I'm JL Smith. Perception is reality, we're told on a daily basis. But is that true? Is perception reality? Let's explore the matter. An old Apache chieftain realized it was time to retire, so he gathered the entire reservation and announced that he was appointing his son as the new chief. The son was surprised by such an announcement. Seems he was very much more media and tech savvy than he was in tune with the old ways of the tribe. A couple months later, the weather began to cool off. The tribe's people approached the chief and asked if it was going to be a cold winter. Stalling for time, the young chief told them he would have to go into his teepee and seek guidance from their ancestors. He told them to come back tomorrow and he would let them know. The chief went to his teepee and tuned in the local news station to hear the weather report. The local station had just hired a new weatherman that was very much a charts and graphs guy, who reported that it looked like it could be shaping up for a cold winter. The next morning, the people congregated around the chief's teepee looking for an answer. The new chief stepped forward and said, "Our ancestors tell me it will be a cold winter. Go and gather firewood." Receiving this word, the tribe spent all day gathering firewood. Upon returning to the village, they asked their chief if it was enough wood to last them for the winter. As expected, the chief told them he would ask their ancestors and let them know tomorrow. Back he went inside, and again he listened to the local weather report. This time, the weatherman said it will definitely be a cold winter. The next morning, he again instructed the tribe to collect more firewood. At the end of the second day, they again asked if it was enough, and as he had done before, he told them he would have to consult their ancestors. On this night, the weatherman stated it was going to be a very cold winter, and, you guessed it, the chief sent the people back into the forest to collect even more firewood. At the end of this day, they again asked about sufficient firewood, and of course, the chief told them he would consult with their ancestors. Morning again broke, and the chief repeated the weatherman's prediction, telling the tribe it would be a very, very cold winter, and they should go and collect double the amount of firewood they had yesterday. Meanwhile, back at the station, the chief meteorologist barged into the weatherman's office, carrying an armful of charts and graphs. "Look at these predictions," he shouted at the weatherman. "Why are you day after day telling our viewers that this is going to be the coldest winter in history, while all of science tells us it will be rather mild? The charts are simply wrong. This will be the coldest winter in history, I assure you," answered the weatherman. "And how do you know this, pray tell?" asked the meteorologist. The weatherman pointed out his window and said, "Because the Indians are collecting firewood like crazy." So, as we see from our firewood story, perception is not reality. In fact, if we live by such a mantra, then how does any person expect to know the objective truth of any matter? A society will soon fall apart if it tries to function with every person's perception being touted as reality. So, the next time you are being told by most of the pundits and social media gurus that your reality is at the mercy of your perspective, be reminded that there is a high probability that such a statement is simply the perspective of a person trying to avoid reality. It might do them some good if you give them today's grain of sugar. Perception is not reality. Reality should shape our perspective. Tell us a time in your life when folks wanted their perception to be reality, and they had to learn the hard way that reality does not care about your perspective. Maybe you're dealing with the reality versus perspective matter at this very moment. Let us know in the comments below, and the colony will provide you with some insight on how to navigate back to reality. On behalf of GOS Media, thanks for stopping by. If you enjoy our videos, then please like, subscribe, and share with others. If you want to support our work, then become a colony member by joining us on Patreon, or pick up some merch from our website. Links are pinned below. Once again, thanks for tuning in to Grains of Sugar. I've been your host, JL Smith.